Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hey guys. All right. Today's episode is sponsored by some of my absolute favorites, Josh and Joanna Scott with Studio 88, Dentistry's story-driven marketing agency. You guys, I love this company. I love this team. They just built a website for me and they made it so easy. They were able to figure out what I wanted without me even knowing what I wanted. And I love them because traditional dental marketing doesn't attract new patients because it doesn't accurately represent your practice. So when a patient lands on a templated website with stock photographs and clunky design, they have nothing to connect to and they leave. Don't lose patients that you've never met. The team at Studio 88 creates a digital presence that is authentically you. So patients trust you and your team from the moment they encounter your brand. They bring your story to life and get attention with beautiful websites, real photography and video, and a digital strategy that works. Because guess what, guys? Your story is worth it. So go check them out, you guys. They have the power of story in your marketing. Visit their website, S8E8.com. That's S8E8.com. Two of my favorite people. I know you guys won't be disappointed. Thank you so much, guys. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, I am so excited because there are some people in this world that I just get so giddy to bring on the podcast, and this dynamic duo is definitely one of them. And the good news is this time I actually remember both of their names because the last time I did a podcast, I only remembered one of their names. So today is a better day. I'm super excited. These are some of my dear friends, and I legitimately mean friends, not just people that you like met somewhere and pretend you're friends. No, these people are people that I actually love to talk to. I love the business that they have. I love who they are as people, and I'm super excited. So Josh and Joanna Scott are on today's podcast. They own the company Studio 88. You guys have probably seen me rep their swag. They have the best swag. They have the best marketing. I'm so excited. So Josh and Joanna, how are you guys today?
Hi, Kiera. We are awesome.
Hey, thanks for remembering my name this time.
Okay, Josh just let the cat out of the bag. It was Josh. So here's the story. Joanna and I met, I think it was last year at Mark Costas's summit, and Joanna came up and we just became instant friends, and we kind of were communicating back and forth. I thought, and Josh, this is nothing personal, I just thought Joanna was the main shebang of the business. She was always the one messaging me. She was talking to me. She was texting me. She was emailing me. She's super good, you guys. Her response rate is impressive. And so Joanna set up a meeting with me and Josh, Voices of Dentistry, in January. And I'll be honest, I thought the podcast was going to be with Joanna, not Josh.
I love it, Kiera. You thought I was the boss. I have no problem with that at all.
So it was very uncomfortable. And I just had to call myself out like the real person that I am. Josh and I are about to do a podcast live on video. And I knew I couldn't fake it, that I didn't know his name the whole way through it. So before we started, I was like, so I just need to remember what your name is, Josh. And it's just been epic since. So I
appreciate you heading that off ahead of time. I think my team's all like, yeah, I'm like, we're ready to roll. Team's like, yep, 3, 2. And you're like, hey, real quick. And I think I looked at you and I was like, what do you think my name is? Like, let's just play a little game here.
It was a terrible game because I was like, Steve, I don't know. It was so embarrassing, Josh. And now I will never forget your name. And it's great because I think that real friends have these embarrassing moments, and that's what ties them so close together. So
very true.
And if you guys haven't seen, Josh and Joanna are also one of the hottest couples. So go check out their Instagram page. Gosh, you guys are just spicy and amazing. And so I've shared my personal connection to you, But Josh and Joanna, Josh, I'll have you take it away on this. Kind of give us a little background of Studio 88, which, by the way, I'm still impressed with the wittiness of that. I'm very drawn to businesses that have wit and clever and just deliver incredible value. So kind of walk us through exactly what your business is, what you guys do, and then I'm going to share my raving testimonial because I have worked with you guys as a client and it was an incredible experience.
Yeah. So look, we started Studio 88. We're actually in our 7th year. I've been around dentistry for 18 years and I worked with a practice management company for 12 of those. Always loved marketing, got into that side of it. At some point, I looked around and for me, I think dentistry was always this profession that was inspiring. It was innovative. There's this really beautiful component to it of humans serving humans, especially in this like post-COVID environment like we have now. And yet when I looked at dental marketing, I never saw that story being told. And so that's really why we started it was I wanted to give dentistry a different story, help people tell a different story. And so, we call ourselves Dentistry Story-Driven Marketing Agency. And we really work with our clients to figure out like what's unique to them, what's the story, the narrative, why should patients choose them, what's the role in the community. And, what we looked around and saw was so many practices, like great practices in our country, but very few of them could represent that online the same way. And so that's been our mission, help practices that have really great stories tell that online in a way that's authentic and that patients connect with.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said that, Josh, because I feel that websites, and I've said this on other podcasts, I feel a website is your resume to the world and it's the new resume. And so often I know I get fumbly and I'm really good with words. That's a talent I've been blessed with, but I'm not so great with design. I know what I want it to look like, but what I put together versus what I want it to feel and my presence and the image and the story, like you said, given to the world, oftentimes on my own doesn't come that way. And working with other designers and other website people, I feel so often I get a product of my website that I have to say, well, like that's good enough. It's close. I mean, it's almost there. I don't know how to tell you what's not there. So I guess that's good enough. Or it's just easier to just stamp it out with these cookie cutter websites because that feels easier. And we just think, let's just slap it out there. Let's put it out there. We just have to have a website instead of what you guys have done of really adding that beautiful human element of telling this true story of who we are and what we really want to be known as, how we want to be viewed. And I think you guys beautifully do that through all of your marketing.
Yeah. And, it's just like, I think especially in this post-COVID kind of environment, practices that are feeling this immense need to connect with their communities. And I think there's this sense of like, hey, we need to stand up and kind of wave our hand and go, hey, we're part of the community and here's our story. And we're here to serve you and, we're safe and we love you and we love our communities. And so your website, like as we sit here in 2020, your website is still the hub of your digital presence. And whether somebody finds you through reviews or social media or organic SEO, they still are going to go there. And it's your narrative for your business and your profession and the way you're serving the community. So
yes,
it's important.
I love that. So tell me a little bit why you guys decided to go. There's Don Miller, who's all about story brand, and I'm obsessed with Don Miller. So there's this like running theme, of course, from my view of story. So what was kind of your idea behind having dental offices tell their story? Because I think that's a very interesting word to use. And I love that you guys say your tagline is your story's worth it. I think that's the tagline, if not, correct me. But I love that you guys chose story. What was the reason behind that? How did you guys get to that as the way you do your marketing for dental offices?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, it was so much about just connecting with humans. And when you get into this like digital environment, I think it creates complexity and for some people, and it gets really confusing. And, it's like people are like algorithms change and social media platforms and all this stuff. And how do you even navigate it? And what I've watched with a lot of marketing is it becomes very analytic driven. It becomes very data. It becomes very direct response. Like there's the science of we know if we do X, we get X response. And that means it works and it's good. But what I also watched was very automated systems, very marketing that was set up to be efficient. You got AI chatbots right now all over websites. We've got these like sales funnels going into place that convert at X%. And all that's fine. But I think in the end of it, I was like, there's a better way to market. And the data and the analytics all has its place. It really does. But if you're not speaking human, then we're disconnecting right from the start. And Kiera, you know this, like the marketing that comes your way or the sales tactics that are just so automated and efficient and data driven, sometimes you don't even feel like you're being talked to like a human. And so, I think at the end of the day, human marketing always wins. And really the best of both worlds is bringing the humanness into it with the data and with the analytics. And so that's kind of where story came out of it was, whether it's the story of your practice, whether it's the story of the doctor, whether it's the story of the team, whether it's the story of the community. I think as humans, when we work with businesses, we're all grasping for something to connect with. And so story just kind of gives you these handles to like reach out and grab a hold of and go, I love that. I agree with it. I share the same values.
Here, and there's a really cool statistic that our team found and has fallen in love with. Its stories are 22 times more memorable than facts. And it really just supports our philosophy that the best websites have a focus on your story. Because like Josh is saying, you have seconds to make a first impression when someone visits your website. So if your marketing is only featuring your list of services or where you attended, dental school or your latest CERAC machine, it's likely to be forgotten. And what will get remembered more is the story that, your patients or clients can connect with. And that it's an opportunity for anyone, whether you are a dentist, business owner, to share something memorable, a story unique to you, or a pain point that you've journeyed through and how you've triumphed through it. Marketing that speaks human is marketing that people trust. And it's actually really what they're looking for.
I love that so much because I think in today's world, Josh and Joanna, both when you were speaking, I was thinking, I feel the element we've lost, like we've become so efficient in the world. We have mastered efficiency on so many levels. We have washing machines, we have dishwashers, we have robotic vacuums now. Like there's so many cool things that we have mastered to make us efficient that we forgot that humans also crave connection. And as I was listening to what you were saying, I thought, well, stories connect us. Like why? I remember I went to an event and one of the speakers, and gosh, this has been years ago, and I still remember his presentation because he said, people remember stories. So if you ever want to be good at presenting or you want to be good at making a lasting impression, tell stories. And as I've been coaching dental offices, going through this whole consulting gig that I just made up one day and decided to run with it. And here we are. Like I truly don't ever know what I'm doing. I just make it up as I go. And I realized that when I started coaching offices, if I would tell a story, I only got this review one time, but all the rest of them were good. One girl said, you tell too many stories. And I was like, success. You remember that I tell stories. Because I started finding when I would tell a story, people could connect to it. I think our guard goes down because we're listening to a story. We're connected. We're engaging. And we instantly make connections within ourselves by hearing someone else's story. Because no longer am I thinking about what do I need? How is this going to benefit me? I'm listening to Josh and Joanna's story. I'm listening to this dentist story. I'm reading about their story. And I'm like, oh, hey, me too. Because the focus is taken away from me, put on somebody else that I can either connect with or disconnect with. And I think it's a better way to attract clients that are just like you or patients just like you versus just trying to get the mass numbers in that are probably going to fall off anyway because you're not a good fit from the get-go. So I love that you guys have just brought that connection piece that I feel our world is craving right now, especially after COVID. I mean, we're really going back to this, well, what do I really want? What's the feeling that it invokes? And I love your stats, Joanna, on that, because I think I was reading a book last night and they said people remember how they feel. They don't remember anything else. So, and I think stories create a sense of connection and feeling and safe and security and all these different pieces. And that's what you remember, and you'll remember those stories because I think it also evokes emotion.
Yeah, I think like dentistry is it's a high tech profession, which I love. And we're always looking for ways to be more efficient. And I mean, Kiera, that's what you like work with practices on so much is efficiency and moving through stuff. Marketing, I think making it automated, making it efficient, there's a place for that. But sometimes the question is like, just because we can, doesn't mean we should. And because at the end of the day, marketing is really about communication. It's communication, it's connecting. And so then when we talk about automating that and making that more efficient, you go, well, what's the price? What's the trade-off? And a lot of times it's the connection with that. And so if, at the end of the day, digital marketing is about creating a human connection in a digital environment. And I tell this story, like we had a client one time that, bought a cone beam. And this was probably a year or two ago when, they were six figures, to get a cone beam, and sends me this email. And he's like, Josh, need to put the cone beam top of the website. We need to talk about how amazing this is and use it as a marketing opportunity. And I was like, that's great. And I understand you just spent six figures on a piece of technology. And so you want to leverage it as much as you can.
Totally.
But I don't know that is, getting somebody to the site and then connecting over services or technology isn't quite the point. On the other side, we had a client where her website starts and it's like the first section down says, we love people. And the next section says, we think you'll love it here. And as dentists, sometimes it's so easy to talk about the services and the technology. And I'm like, but I think it might be better to actually start with, we love people and we think you'll love it here. Like, isn't that so much of a better way to connect? And like, let's some about the cone beam later when they're, searching for that. But connecting, creating stories, communication, like it's all just humans speaking to humans.
And I love that it's so simple. I mean, you guys made it feel simple. Okay. Humans speaking to humans. So if I wanted to get tactical, because you guys know I'm tactical, what would you say people do? So let's say I'm sitting here, I'm trying to figure out all of it. I feel me as a business owner, and I think I share the same sentiment with several people that listen to this podcast. Marketing feels like this deep, dark pit that I know I'm supposed to deal with, and I don't know how to deal with it. So I'm like, okay, we're going to play. I feel like I shoot shotgun shells when I do marketing, and it's like bucket shot. And so it's just everywhere. Like, let's see what's going to stick. We're going to try this with our social media. We're going to try this with our website. We're going to try this with our email blast. Like, where do we even start? I don't even know where to start. What would you guys recommend? Like tactical? What are some of the best things to start with? Or what do you guys suggest? Because I always feel very lost when it comes to marketing. I feel very naive when it comes to marketing. I feel like it's this buzzword of something I know I'm supposed to do to get patients and clients to see me, but I never know. I don't ever feel like I'm doing it, quote unquote, right. And I don't know. I'm sure you guys run up against this. So how would you respond to that? What would you say? What are some of your guys' tips and tricks or things that you would recommend in regards to that question?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think lots of people struggle with that. We have a process, the Studio 88 process, and it's very simple. It's a 3-step process. And I'm all about simplicity. I am what do we call it? I'm not a multiplier, but I'm a
simplifier.
I'm a simplifier. So I really, especially when I communicate, when I'm being an educator, I really try to bring simplicity to a subject. And so digital marketing, I think, is a complex world, but let's go real high level and look at it in 3 steps. And number 1 is we help our clients discover their story. So I think the first thing, before you even talk about marketing, like you're way down the road of, okay, should we be doing Facebook ads? I'm like, well, hold on for a second. Like, let's back up. What would we say in the Facebook ads? Like, what would the photography look like? That's really the first step of discovering your story. Like, what's unique? What's the message going to be? Once we have that locked down, then number 2, let's tell the story. So a lot of that is through the website. It's through the photography, through the video, through the organic social media posting. Like, let's make sure that what we're saying accurately represents and matches that story. And then the third step is, okay, now let's share it. Like, we've built this story online. We've got this amazing website. We've got a social media channel that rocks. We've got reviews that reflect us, that sound amazing. Well, let's share that. Okay, so now we're getting into like, okay, Facebook ads, Google ads, boosting social media posts, getting a little bit, like showing up in community events and with that storyline and that narrative. And so I think everything marketing kind of falls into those buckets. And if you can take that almost one step at a time, it's a very simplistic way to walk through just an overall marketing strategy.
I like that, because I think so often we think, okay, how's my funnel? And how is this? And I love that you just say, like, what's your story? That's where we start. What's the story? What do you want to tell? And I had a coach just recently, and I love what she kind of changed my mindset on a lot of things. And she said, Kiera, everything you're doing, look to see what is the outcome. What am I trying to achieve by doing this? And I think so often we get stuck in the how and the nitty gritty that we forget the outcome. So what is the outcome? And I love what you guys said of like, what's the story? How are we going to tell this story? And then how are we going to blast this out to the world? Like, because that just simplifies it down. The outcome is we want to share our story and connect with patients that are just like us, that resonate with our story, that want to be here, because those are the lifers. Those are the ones, and you're not supposed to be an office that's for every person. It's funny when I ask people, I'm like, so who's your ideal client? And they're like, everyone. And I'm like, really? Everyone? No, it's not. Stop that. You don't want everyone in your practice. You want the people that are going to be the lifers, that are going to be the patients that resonate with your philosophies, that are going to love being at your practice because they're going to share with other people as well. And so I really like thinking about that outcome. And I love how you guys have brought it in with what's the story we want to share. Now, Josh and Joanna, I'm going to ask the question of what do you tell? What if I don't feel I have a good story to share, or I'm nothing special, or and not to be, I'm not trying to sit here and, like downplay. I personally, Kiera Dent, I'm like, I think I've got a pretty fun story that I would share, but I'm sure there are people listening that think, you guys, I don't have anything special. How would you spruce up the fact that like, I just wanted to go to dentistry to make a lot of money? Like, it's a great family career. That's why I chose dentistry. Or, I chose dentistry because I like to help people, but honestly, what dentist doesn't have that same philosophy? So how do you guys make a more intricate story, or what about those people that just don't feel that they have anything super special about them? Because I hear that a lot from offices thinking there's nothing special. They're just a good dentist. They show up, they do good work, they leave. That's the end of their story.
Wow, what a great question. But so interesting, because I personally just believe, and I know our whole team does, that every dentist, every person has something unique, right? Every person has been through original experiences that no one else has lived through, or no one else has walked through their shoes. And so I think it's really about providing the right discovery tools and helping that that dentist, that person, that human sit down and just really very systematically walk them through questions that help them figure out what those unique things are that they can craft a story around, or that jogs their memory, or that highlights the things that they really want to share with their community and the things that really will connect them to their community.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah. And Kiera, I think like what's hard for us personally is we're so in it on the day to day. Like we're so into the micro that it gets really hard to actually see what's in front of us and sometimes our lives and the overall like storyline. But if you can pull back and kind of have that moment where you get a glimpse of your life and kind of that larger narrative, I think you would see something really, really special there. And, I think even like me, like if I'm being honest, I'm like, yeah, a lot of days I feel like, I'm probably not a good parent, or I'm an average parent. I feel like our marriage is average. The company is, just because I see the failures and the shortcomings, I'm like, I don't know that it feels like the work we're doing is significant. But I get those moments where I kind of can pull back and see that film of like my life playing, and I realize like, oh my gosh, there's something so special there. There's something so unique. And I think we've kind of worked the process with our clients where we help them to discover that, whether it's on a personal level or whether it's with their practice. But we've never yet to date in 6 to 7 years had a client where we got done and we were like, oh, sorry, there's really not a story here. like you're
oh, so, you failed. Sorry, guys. Can't do anything with you.
I know. And what's so cool is those are the funnest clients where they go, I don't know what you're going to be able to do with this. And by the time we work them through our discovery process and then start to tell that story, they're always so impressed, like, oh my gosh, this is us. Like, yes, this is my practice. This is me. And you guys did such a great job telling it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we pulled this out of you. We developed it, crafted a story around it. and it's all true. But it looks amazing when you can step back and see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll jump in really quick. The other component is that the story doesn't have to be perfect. I think that dentists on the whole are diehard perfectionists.
Yes.
And, honestly, it's those pain points, it's the broken parts of your story, the struggle that really, really makes it human and tangible for your audience, for the patients that are searching for that dentist in their community. And so knowing, obviously, vulnerability is a choice, and what, we, all of us, have to make that individual choice about what we're going to share, what parts of our story are vulnerable to the world. But really, really, those are the stories. It's the end goal is not perfection. The goal is authenticity, right? Where you're comfortable sharing it.
Yes. And I really do love that that's your guys' take on this, because I think so often, myself included, I think to the world, I need to paint this perfect picture of Kiera Dent. I don't want people to know. We all have skeletons. We all have dark secrets. We all think we're average. And I think people want to know that you're just like them, because all of a sudden you become relatable to me. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. You're human. I'm human. You're not perfect. You're not above me. You're not below me. We're together and I can resonate with you. And I will say, because I wanted to put my little testimonial in here for you guys, of when I worked with you, I loved how simple you made the process. So if you guys are okay with it, can I share a little bit about the experience being a client working with you on the podcast? Is that okay if I share that?
Would love it.
Of course.
I'm like, I might be sharing trade secrets here, so I gotta check. Everybody, thanks for just joining our little private conversation we had. We're ready to go now. But with that, I thought it was so cool because you guys sent over the most simple process I've ever been through with a marketing company. It was, from what I remember, and you guys add in any details I might be missing or that are your secret sauce. What I loved is it was, okay, here are these different fonts. What type of font do you prefer? So pick a few fonts that you like. Here are some color boards. What style do you like? Here are some different themes. What do you like? And it was so simple for me because I just picked the things that I liked. And then you guys sent over, it was a really simple questionnaire, but it had a lot of probing questions. And I will say to those of you who might be scared, I have some parts of my life that I'm not ready to share with the world. There are some pieces of my life that really just rocked my entire core and soul that I'm not ready to share with the world. I don't want people to know that. I feel that sometimes winners of really hard events, so like the victors of a battle in your life, we get to write the history that we want. And there are certain parts of my life that I don't want written in history of who I am. But those pieces made me into who I am. And Joanna, I will say, with full transparency, and it like makes me weepy about it, I felt I was able to share me as a real person to you guys. And you were able to hear my whole story. You were able to see me as a person, and then you were able to pull out the best parts of me, the parts I was willing to share. But because you knew me as a person, the website you created, I felt was me. And it kept the hard pieces that I've gone through in my life hidden, but was able to know who I am and why I am the person that I am today, and was able to make a website that I felt was so me. It told my story. And you guys created the Women Dentist Connect website. So it's not launched, you guys. You can't go find it yet. It's almost there. We've just decided it's going to be a virtual event, not a live event. So poor Joanna's been like back and forth yin yang with us. But when you see it, it has this like soft, loving feel to it. And it felt like the process was so simple for me as a client. And yet you were able to tell the story. I didn't have the words for it. I didn't know the feel or the style or the fonts or any of that when I went into the process with you. And the end result was so perfect. And I feel like you guys are magicians behind the scenes that are able to pull and extract all the pieces and put it together in the way that I don't even know I want to present, but felt authentic to me. So that was my experience going through it with you guys. You can add in any pieces you want, but I just wanted to share what it was like to work with you guys as a company. And I didn't even know what the experience would be like. You guys didn't tell me what the experience would be like. So I felt I was a very true, like a client going through the process, and how easy and incredible the experience was to feel like the masterpiece of my life and what I wanted it to relate to the world. You truly were able to do that in such a professional, authentic, genuine, loving way. It was an incredible experience.
Oh, Kiera, you made me weepy there too. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't ask me anything. I have to like pull myself together. Oh my goodness. You are one of the most inspiring, honest humans, which is why you and I get along so well. It was an honor, absolutely, to work on the Women Dentists Connect project with you and Dr. Summer. And one of the reasons I think that I loved working with both of you so much was you have incredible clarity around your why you're creating this community for all women in dentistry. You both have been in dentistry for a long time. You've recognized there was a gap, and you've addressed this need by creating a space where all women, docs, team members, assistants can come together to be inspired, challenged, grow, and collaborate. And I'm so excited about the upcoming conference, and I cannot wait to launch your site. But honestly, it's your why and that makes that site and your mission and vision so beautiful.
Well, thank you. And you guys, that's what I wanted to share is just true, authentic. Josh and Joanna pull that out of you as a person. Like, I didn't even know that was my why per se when I went into it. I know that, hey, there's this gap. This is what we see. I know Dental A Team. Honestly, we should have you guys work on our Dental A Team site. That's the next site. But the reality is, like, every person, you have a why, whether you want to believe it or not, you have a why, and it doesn't matter what your why is. And I love that Josh and Joanna, you are non-judgmental ever. It's just like, fantastic. That's your story. Let's display it in a way that's truly authentic you. And I love that you guys have just taken a very human approach to marketing, because I've worked with a lot of marketers and I'm jaded on marketing. People have heard me. I talk about this all the time, how much I'm jaded on it because I feel it's just a scam on so many levels. And I think there are some scam marketers. But I love that you guys have said, hey, our job's to share your story. We know that we also have the analytics to back it up. But first and foremost, we're sharing your story. We're making this authentic to you, sharing your story to the world, because as you guys say, your story is worth it. And I love that line so much. I think it just resonates with so many people out there. It makes us feel like, hey, maybe my story is worth it. Maybe I can connect with other people. And I think we remember our greatness on such a different level.
Well, Walt Disney was the one that said, I love that you use the word magic, because he said magic is created it's the systems behind the scenes that create the magic. And when you go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, you definitely have a sense of that. Like, we can create predictable magic, but it's all in the systems behind the scenes. And those were two tools that you walked through. And, the fact is we've put a ton of intentionality in them. It's a balance between keeping it short and simple, because nobody wants this like high maintenance process, but also just getting what we need to, like, the core pieces of what we need from you. And so that's part of the magic. Like, we can take that brand creator workbook. It's like about 8 little exercises that you walk through, and then we can put something together that we feel represents you and hopefully comes out magical at the end.
Oh, it was so, and like you said, it was so easy. And that's something I've loved about both of you. Everything I've ever encountered with you is easy. You guys are incredible with your responsive rate. And you guys, I'm not just saying this because they're on the podcast. I don't bring people on the podcast unless I love them. So just so you guys know, it's not like, hey, I want to make Josh and Joanna awesome. It's true, genuine testimony of how easy. You guys are so fast on your responses. You're so kind. The worksheet that I went through with you was so fast and easy. I think it took me, honestly, the longest part was writing in my why and my story. And I think it took me about an hour, in all sincerity. The rest of it was super fast and fun and made it so easy. There were like little color boards, and it felt fun to just click and choose what I liked. And then I felt the why part. But I loved what you said on there, Joanna, when you sent it over, and I'm sure this is part of your process. You told me, like, this doesn't need to be perfect. We're not looking for the absolute. We just want to get an overall picture of who you are as a person, and we're going to take it from here. And I love that I didn't feel I had to be perfect when I sent things to you. And then it came back, and every time it came back, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. So I don't know how you create that magic of sending it back. You guys have an incredible team that really can just extract the best parts of what I wanted to share that really did feel like me. And you guys are great. I gave feedback. You came back with a mood board of a color of green that I was like, nope, not that color. That's like the ugly carpet color of my mom's house when I was a child. Like, ew, no thanks. But like,
that was the best. I loved it.
I was like, not that color. No, thank you. Why my parents had this weird teal colored carpet is a whole different story. I have no idea, but that's fine. But you guys were so easy. You just did a quick change and it felt so good. And what was really cool is Summer and I are partners. We're two different people, even though Summer and I sometimes are, very complimentary, said that we're the same person, which we both take as a compliment, but we're not. We're two different people. And you guys took our stories individually and were able to craft it into one. So doctors, if you have multiple doctors or multiple partners, I loved that you were able to pull those pieces from both sides and create something that felt very Summer, very Kiera, and we were able to present something so incredible out there.
Yeah, completely. And I have to brag on the team at Studio 88. Any brand or company is only as strong as the team behind it. And down, beginning with the copywriters to the photographers, videographers, designers, developers, it's such a collaborative effort. Every project is so custom, so unique. And the team just kind of like clear eyes, full hearts, approaches every new website in that way. And so we had an absolute blast working on the Women Dentist Connect site and can't wait for it to go live to the world.
We need to get it out there so you guys can see it. So Josh and Joanna, you guys are the kindest people and you both got on the podcast. Joanna, I'm so proud of you. You just added so much and I love your piece of this as well. Josh, we all know that you have the smooth radio voice. And I love how you Josh, I feel like you're such a master with words of really embodying what I'm trying to say. And I feel like you're so smooth and so fluid and so genuine. So I think both of you are just such an incredible couple, an incredible company. So I bragged about you. You guys have told your story. You guys, if Studio 88 feels like the marketing company that resonates with you, how do they contact you? How do people, if they're like, hey, that's what I want to do, what are their next steps to be able to contact you guys, get in touch with you, and have their story be told to their patients and to the world?
Yeah. Connect with me online, social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, at Joshua Scott. Shoot me a message, a DM, tell me what's up. Tell me you heard the podcast. Also, if you want to learn more about Studio 88, our website is s8e8.com. So it's the letter S, the number 8, the letter E, the number 8.com. We actually just launched a resource. It's called our Guide to Story-Driven Marketing. And it's a downloadable resource. It's got videos and almost like a little workbook. You can get that for free. I don't think it's spammy at all. Like, look, if we produce a resource, we definitely feel like it's valuable, but go there, download that, work through it. It'll help you on your way to creating marketing that's story-driven. And let me know, what you think about it.
I love that. And and if you guys don't know, Josh is the main shebang. So that's why you're connecting with him. Unlike I thought Joanna was the boss. So, and you guys, both of them are so incredible. Josh, I love that you're just such an approachable person every single time I've worked with you. You guys are both just very human, down to earth, incredible people. And I think sometimes you are so humble that you don't rave about how incredible of a product and a company you really do have. So you guys, if marketing has been daunting, if you guys have struggled, I have gone through I would say you guys are probably my 8th or 9th marketing company in my short career in 2.5 years that I've actually worked with. I try a ton of marketing companies because it's my Achilles heel. It's the zone I don't feel I'm as strong in. And I will say hands down, easiest, best experience. My website was the best website I have ever had. And I worked with Dental A Team is on its 5th revision of website designers in 2.5 years. So it has gone through a lot of changes. I've gone through a lot of changes. And so to say that authentically, it was the easiest, most incredible experience I've ever had. So you guys, if you've struggled with it in the past, check them out. I think Josh and Joanna are the best at what they do. So please check them out. They're really fun too. And don't forget that Josh's name is Josh. So just in case any of you are stumbling, it's really Josh.
Oh man.
So
and I love making friends on Instagram too. If anyone wants to friend me up, you can find me Joanna F. Scott. Is where I am on Instagram or Facebook, of course.
Yes.
Kiera, you're like an honor to work with and know. And I'm so thrilled to have you as my friend. I call you my friend first, and he can have you as his friend second.
I agree. Josh, sorry, I knew your name second. I agree though. And Joanna, I just adore you. So you guys, thank you. Thank you so much for taking time, for sharing your knowledge. I just feel, it's funny because I always wrap up podcasts, and today I just feel the sense of like fulfillment. My heart and soul feel full. And you guys bring that every single time I talk to you. So thank you guys for being here, for sharing and just changing and making a difference in the world of dental that I just love so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us on the show. It's always fun to talk to you. I mean, I told lots of people, like, if it's Kiera, it's just easy. Like, we can talk all day long. So
good. Well, thank you guys so much. Yes, Joanna, thank you. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Check out Studio 88. That was s8e8.com, studio8e8.com. And thank you all for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental 18 podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental 18 podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.